Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are going to do a review of the new, well, not new, but new to me, UDES 1516 Tier 10. I believe it's a medium tank, if I remember right. Uh, where are we at here? Yes, it is a medium tank. I had my first match in it, which you guys will see momentarily after we do this review. But I figured I'd go over the tank real quick just to give you a heads up about it. The match I had that you were going to be watching here in a little bit was actually a pretty good match, and this has absolutely really not too thick armor anywhere on it, but I was able to bounce lots of damage due to the fact that it has such awesome slope on the turret, and I was able to stay hull down, so that's all they got shots at were my turret. But anyway, so let's go over this real quick and get some gameplay and some post-game stats for you. So you get a pretty good gun. Standard pen 254, premium is 310. You get heat for your premium and 60 for your HE. 440 average damage for your premium and standard, 530 for your HE. Average damage per minute is 2809, and its dispersion is 0.35. Aim time is 2.2 seconds. Let's see, what do we want to go over next here? My rate of fire is, well, 7.24 rounds a minute, so my reload is 8.28 seconds. Gun traverse is 41.72, and turret traverse is, or excuse me, hull traverse is 52.15. So it does spin pretty good. So it's decent for circle strafing things. It's actually got some pretty decent speed too. Let's see. Gun depression is negative 13 and plus 25, so that's phenomenal. Aim time is a little bit long at 2.11 seconds. For a medium, that's, in my mind, a medium tank. You want to be closer to 1.7, 1.5. So 2.11, a little bit on the high end, I think, for a medium tank. I could see that on a heavy or even a tank destroyer, but it's still doable. It's not god-awful bad. Dispersion's 0.34, which is pretty good, and our average damage per minute is 3188. Really good. You get 1950 hit points, and on the armor, you get 50 in the hull in the front. So basically, anywhere in the hull, they're going to pen you. The turret in the front is kind of where you need to keep that facing the enemy, and you'll be shocked to bounce quite a bit of damage, I'm pretty sure, like I did. But the turret in the front is got 100 millimeters of armor and it's very well sloped. The only place maybe I can see him penning that would be like right up in this area, because you can see it's got that real good angle and then it kind of comes up right there. So that might be a weak spot on the front. I don't know as of yet. Anywhere on the hull is pretty much a weak spot. These I don't know if these are considered like active armor. What happens if somebody shoots those? If it acts as like like a shield for HE shells or what? I'll have to really pay attention to how those work. And in the rear, you got a couple canisters for holding ammunition and stuff. That's all those are. They look pretty cool though. When you get blown up, they disappear though. Magic. They're magic. On the side, you get 50 on the hull and 40 on the turret. And in the rear, you get 30 on the hull and 20 on the turret. So the rear, you definitely don't want to get hit with HE rounds. It is definitely wicked looking. I really enjoyed the match I just had in it. I would definitely say it's worth getting, especially with that turret armor in the front. It was just a bouncing beast. Mobility, it's 32.55 tons, so you can smash into some light tanks, but I wouldn't go ramming into any heavies. Your engine power is 1610 horsepower, so your specific power to weight's 18.74, which is pretty darn good. Top speed is 50 in forward, 24 in reverse, which is phenomenal. 21.24 is your concealment, sitting still, which is really good. Your spotting, well, my spotting is a little bit more because I went with binocular telescopes, uh, gun rammer, and vertical stabilizers. I know it's a little kind of back-asswards because your vertical stabilizers are for when you're moving to keep you with a lower, your bloom smaller, and instead of going with coated optics, I went with binocular telescopes. But I read up, and everybody that I had read the difference between the coated optics and the binocular telescopes, they keep saying that you're better off going with the binocular telescopes because about 95% of the time when you shoot, you come to a stop. You got close to a 3-second aim time on most of your tanks, and that's about how long it takes for your uh, binocular telescopes to kick in. So it's going to kick in, give you a better view range. You're already stopped, shrunk in, so you might be able to light up some other vehicles and get shots off at those. Whereas your coated optics only give you a 10% boost, and they do work while you're constantly on the move, but it really limits you to the amount of vision it gives you extra. So our view range is 492 and our signal range is 580. So anyways, if you want to hold on for a minute, I will have some game plans and post-game stats for you, so I will be right back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So here we find ourselves in Fjords in the new UDES 1516. Well, new to me, been on the game for a couple months now, but I've just now been able to start playing World of Tanks again without any issues, and didn't need a whole lot to get it, so I went ahead and got it researched, and I seem to really like it. It's got a pretty wicked gun. The standard pen is so-so. Um, yeah, 254. So if it's an all tier 10 match like this, with what the enemy team had, well, tier 10s in general, you're probably going to end up slinging uh, some premium rounds because it bumps you up to 310 with heat. But I decided I was going to come up this hill and head up, around this way. And I got going and I noticed no one was going with me. I thought at first a girl 15 was gonna, and then I caught myself in time and said, hell, I ain't going up there myself. So I was gonna turn around, and then the STB1 and actually the Badger started coming this way. So with three of us up here, you have a way better chance. But if you ever find yourself in the situation where you're going to a spot like I just was, you see that you're the only one going there, I've learned real quick, don't go there by yourself, and you'll see why. Because when we get up here, they end up having like 4 tanks that were pushing up this way, and if I would have been up here by myself, guaranteed I would have been in a world of hurt. They would have rolled right over me, and I probably would have done 2 shots of damage and got killed. So yeah, just really got to watch that. Now this has like pretty much no frontal armor, except it does have 100 millimeters on the turret. But the nice thing is when you get hauled down with this, that turret, as you're going to see here in a second, is very hard to penetrate. And I will try and show you where the hits are, because I got my mod pack on here. So the white marks are when something bounces. And the STB1 is over here, and he's getting some shots off. And see that right there? First shot that just hit us from the Centurion Action X bounced. Um, anything, I mean, it's just such a good angle on this that everything that hits us in the turret pretty much just bounces. Um, and we bounce about 2,000 something. That was another bounce, a couple more bounces. So we've bounced the Leopard 1 shell, Progetto shell, STRV 103B, which the penetration on that, they actually did penetrate us, but that's because he hit us right here on an angle through the gun, because he's sitting way back here. And then we bounced another one from the Progetto 65. So we've already bounced 1,530 damage off a 100 millimeter thick turret. You can see where they're hitting. They don't have a chance to go through that just due to the fact of that angle. It's just such an awesome angle that they hit it and it just ting, bounces off. We ended up bouncing over 2,000, so we bounced a couple more rounds, but let's go ahead and get into the match regular now. So I'll just have you watching what I saw versus showing you the outer part. And I think yeah, I'll say we just penetrated another round from the Progetto. And we pretty much whittled that Progetto down ourselves. I've got him down to 1 shot. I dunked that shot into the dirt, which was really kind of sad, but it happens. I think he was trying to aim for a weak spot and ended up getting knocked out. And we just bounced another round from the a round from the STRV 103B, but we did get penetrated from the Centurion Action X, and it's because he hit us in the front. Oh, nope, right there. So he took our track off and went through that front piece. Oh, yep, look at that. Yep, you can see the green barely, but you can see it right up in there, right up above the track. So it went through the side panel, the spaced armor, knocked our track off, and then went through the superstructure. So that shows you that this turret's got really good slope, and with the 100 millimeters of armor, makes it really hard to penetrate because if that Centurion Action X is able to go through, two slates of armor plus your track and then penetrate and do damage, that's telling you that this is a really good angled turret because it's got good penetration on that Centurion Action X. I think it's 268. It's close to 270 on standard APCR, and at that range, his APCR is not losing any velocity. So yeah, they hit pretty hard. But anyways, get back to it. Oh, and the reason my tracks are kind of like a bluish is because I've got a mod pack on, so I can see when my track, well, not my track, but when you knock their track off, you can see that their tracks are knocked off. Makes it kind of nice if you're aiming to knock their track off. It's hard to tell whether or not you've knocked their track off from a distance. So with this, I can actually be like, yep, I knocked his track off. So anyways, we're fixing our track. And this is, like I said, my first match, so the crew's not the best in the world. Oh, that heat round, I really thought it would have went through his turret at that angle. The only thing I was really worried about was artillery. Because this thing does not have really any armor to speak of other than in, um, the turret. And it's the angling that helps you. Was trying to get a shot on that darn IS-7, and finally he held still because somebody knocked his track off there, so we were able to finish him off. And that one right there was the Leopard one, and he put it right through the front lower plate, which is super, super easy to go through by pretty much anything. So right now I'm just going to back down. I was so afraid artillery was going to drop one on me that I was just trying to play it really safe. And this has got the hydropneumatic suspension, so you can see it going up in the air when you slow down or stop, and it gives you that extra, see it go up, gives you that extra gun depression, which is really nice over hills. I mean, it's super nice when that thing pumps you up in the air like that. I take a couple blind shots in this area because I know the 103B was setting over there somewhere, so I figured I was going to take a couple blind shots in there and hopefully hit, but you can see dirt, so I know I'm missing. The reload on this is pretty darn good, 8.28 seconds, so you're not sitting around forever for 440 average damage per hit. I thought, okay, it's time to push. We've still got 766 hit points, so, it's two shots basically to take me out unless I get hit by something big like a E100 or a 183. So we're just kind of push in and see if we can back up that STB-1. This thing's got pretty decent speed. It's wicked looking. I love the looks of this thing. But you can see it's got pretty darn good speed. When all tanks, when you go up a hill, they're gonna drop down in speed. So, but on flat straightaways and going down a hill, you boogie right along. When you go up a hill, which we do in a minute, you still do pretty darn good. It doesn't, kill your speed, but it does slow you down. So when we hit this hill right here, you'll see we go up a pretty good rate of speed. Not too shabby. But that STRV 103B, he was over here. Thought I was going to be able to go through him right there. I saw that artillery, and then somebody knocked him out, which was definitely nice. What I should have done is not got so greedy, but I got, unfortunately, greedy. We end up getting the 103B a little bit more damage, but he was able to knock us out. But yeah, we go on to win this. But the reason I was trying to really go for that 103B is because there's only one artillery, the 103B, and a Moss left. So, I mean, just trying to get as much damage as I could in there while I could get some more damage. So like our 215B 183 is going to take the 103B out. And somebody takes out their 155-58 artillery here in a minute. Now over here, the 100 and the Object 430U are dealing with this Moss. The poor guy in the C100, I felt bad for him because he was shooting heat, but I don't think he really knew where to shoot the Moss because all he kept doing is knocking the guy's track off. Unless he was trying to do an assisted damage um, uh, thing where he had to do like so much assisted damage. That's all I could think of because he just kept knocking the guy's track off over and over and over. So he might have been doing a mission for like assisted damage. He pulls right up here, aims right at the U100 and just knocks his track off again. So that's all I can really think of is he had to have been doing assisted damage mission or something. The M48 Patton pulled up here thinking that the Moss wasn't loaded yet, I think, and unfortunately he was loaded. And the 100 shot the Moss in the side and bounced, and the 430U finished him off. So that is end of game. If you want to hold on for a minute, I will have some post-game stats, and so I'll be right back. Alrighty, so here's the results of the match that we just had in the UDES 15-16, the Tier 10. First match I had, like I do, I always show you guys the first one. Ended up doing actually pretty good, and uh, I would say pretty well shocked the amount of damage I was able to bounce with the turret. It only has 100 millimeters of frontal armor on this turret, but if you look at that angle, and they were only getting shots at my turret, this thing was just a bouncing beast. And the stuff I was getting hit with actually has pretty darn good penetration too, so it's not like, I was getting hit by tier 7s. It was an all tier 10 match. But we'll go over the results here, and then we will call it a day. So, anyways, that was a Mastery Badge Class 3, a Fair for Effect, and we got 8 bonds for that match. We hit the IS-7 one time for 392, knocked him out. We originally spotted him in the Centurion Action X. As you saw in the beginning, no one was going up the hill with me, and then I got close to just not even halfway point, and I was going to turn around and say, screw it, I'm not going up there myself. And then I think it was the STB turned around and came up with me, and I think somebody else actually came up the hill eventually. So I ended up getting some backup, and we all went up there. But one thing I've learned is don't go to one side if you have no backup, because with the amount of tanks that were up there, there was like 4 of them. I set, well, all these right here pretty much, except for the STRV, so 4 of them. If I would have went up there myself, those 4 tanks would have rolled right over me. But anyway, so we hit the Centurion Action X for 444, knocked out his track, and we bounced one of his rounds. And like all these tanks have wicked good penetration. The Leopard 1, we bounced one of his rounds for 420. The Progetto 65, we hit him 4 times for 1382, finished him off. Knocked out his track, bounced 3 of his rounds for 1080. STRV 103B, we hit him 1 time for 415 and bounced one of his rounds for 390. He actually knocked me out at the end there. I don't want to say I was getting greedy, but in a way I was, because it was getting to be the end of the match and I was trying to get a little more damage, and I pulled out to take a shot at him, and unfortunately he knocked me out. So we did 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth most damage at 2633, got 2 kills and a base experience of 822. We had 12 shots, 9 hits, 7 pens. Total damage we did was 2633. We got hit 11 times, 5 penetrated, and 6 bounced. Damage blocked with our armor was 2280. We spotted 2 vehicles, damage 4, destroyed 2. We ended up losing 20,019 credits because you can see the ammunition I shot plenty of premium rounds because the standard round on this and what I was facing up there with turrets, standard round does 254 pen, premium does 310, and it's heat. So I had a better chance of definitely penetrating with heat, where the APCR, I think I would have been bouncing a lot more. Even if you look at this, I mean, I only bounced two. Um, Actually, no, I'm sorry. I hit shot 12 and hit 9, pen 7. So yeah, we bounced 2, but I think I would have bounced a lot more with what we were shooting at um, up there on the hill. So we did end up using some gold rounds, shot some standard rounds too, and consumables. Obviously, we had to use I think it was a repair kit and the repair of our vehicle because we got blowed up at the end there. So not too bad. I'm not going to complain about 20,000 credits considering it was an all tier 10 match. Unfortunately, in all tier 10 matches, you do end up slinging several premium rounds just due to the fact with a lot of times you're, IS-7s, Centurion Action X with great turret armor. Progetto still got really good turret armor from the tier 10. So, yeah, better safe than sorry, and make sure you're going to penetrate instead of bounce all day long. But anyways, so that is the UDES 1516. It is a wicked cool looking tank. I really enjoyed that match. It was the first one that I had, and I think I will have several more fun ones to follow after this one. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the match. If you did, please click the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. You guys take it easy, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.